Let's now customize Visual Studio Code for maximum benefits. Visual Studio Code is a great IDE, but we need to override some defaults and we need to customize it for Python programming language. Let's see how we can do that. If you have exactly followed the steps that I followed, you must be seeing this screen. I have also created a folder called Python course and I'm going to write all the code inside this folder. More on that later. But for now, let's switch to Visual Studio Code and let's see how we can customize it. Now, this is the basic Visual Studio Code interface. If you are a beginner and seeing this for the first time, don't get overwhelmed. I'm going to show you how exactly you can start using it right away. Now, the first tab is Explorer, which shows you all the files in the folder which is open. Currently, no folder is open. It says you have not yet opened a folder, but we'll soon open a folder and we'll see all the files here. This is the search bar where you can search contents of your files. And if you type something here, then it is going to search that exact keyword for you throughout your files. This is for source control. And for now, we are going to skip this, but I'm going to get back to this one. This is for debugging and we are going to see this later. And this is the most important tab for now. It's called extensions and it's going to extend Visual Studio Code's functionality and you can customize it as per your needs. So let's start by typing Python here. And as you can see, it has shown me a lot of results. Now I'm going to install this extension, which is the official Python extension from Microsoft. Make sure you install the one which has the blue tick and is from Microsoft. And by default, it is installing both the extensions, the Python extension and the Python debugger extension. Throughout this course, we are going to install a lot of extensions so that we can customize VS Code and enjoy the process of writing code. But for now, it's time to open a folder. So let's open a folder. I'm going to click on open folder. I'm going to go to documents and let's open this Python course folder, which I created specifically for this course. And let's create a folder called 01_setup. And I'm going to open this folder in VS Code. So let's click on select folder and this folder is now opened in VS Code. What does that mean? What does it mean to open a folder in VS Code? Now for security, it shows you this box. Do you trust the authors of the files in this folder? Yes, you trust yourself. So let's click on this tick and let's click on yes, I trust the authors. Now you can see the name of your folder here, 01_setup. If you press Ctrl and plus key on your keyboard, you can zoom into this editor as a whole. Now make sure that you zoom as much as it's required and don't zoom into this too much. But I think for now, this is a very good looking VS Code interface. Now since I'm recording my computer screen for all of you to see, I'm going to zoom a little bit more than it is required. But again, this is your choice. You can always use Ctrl- to zoom out and Ctrl+ to zoom in. This is first very important feature of this IDE. Next, in order to create a file, you need to click this plus icon and simply say main.py, enter. This is going to be your Python program. Main is the name of this file. And .py is the extension, just like we use extensions in txt files, mp4 files, mp3 files. You got the point. Py stands for Python and main.py is our first Python program that we are going to write. For now, simply write some gibberish inside this program. Do you see this dot here? It means that this file has not been saved. So you'll have to press Ctrl+S on your keyboard to save this file and the dot is no longer there. Now if I come back to this Python course folder and go to setup folder, you'll see this main.py file created. Any file that I create in this folder will be visible here. And any file that I create from here will be visible here. So this IDE is simply a convenience for us to create files and edit files and write a code and manage all the files together. That's the point of an IDE. It's designed to write code. Let's go back to this folder now and let's try creating a file here. So I'm going to simply right click, new text document. And let's call it harry.txt and I'm going to edit this with notepad. Right click, edit in notepad and I'm going to write hey Harry and I'm going to save this file. Let's close this file and you'll see the same file created here. And if you try to open this file, it has the same contents. If you delete this file from here by clicking on it and pressing the delete key, and I can click on move to recycle bin. I've deleted this file entirely. The same file has been deleted from here as well, which means that any file I create here is synced with the files that I'm creating here and vice versa. Awesome. So this is what opening a folder in VS Code means. Now let's see how we can customize VS Code further. Do you see this settings gear? You can click here and you can go to themes and you can select color theme of your choice. Now this is very important for developers like me because I like to enjoy the process of coding, and in order to enjoy the process of coding, I need to ensure that whatever I see should appeal to my eyes. This is very important because I'm going to spend quite a lot of time in front of my computer screen writing code. So it should ultimately give me some good vibes. Let's click on color theme and you can select theme of your choice. You can go for quite light. You can even go for another light theme like this. You can try and play around with any other theme. You can use your arrow keys to preview all these themes. And this one is a good theme as well. But there are some other themes that you can always use. And if you want to install more themes, you can always do that by installing some extensions. One of those extensions is called Jellyfish. So if you type Jellyfish in the search box here, obviously after clicking this extensions icon, you can install this Jellyfish theme. You can click on install and this will install Jellyfish theme on your PC. And let's select this as color theme after this automatically pops up. And this theme looks like this. It looks a little bit funky, but again, I really like it. If you don't like it, you can always install GitHub theme. So if you search for GitHub theme, you can install it from GitHub. Make sure that you install the one which has blue tick from GitHub. Let's install this one. And once you have installed this, you can always go for GitHub Dark Default, or you can even go for other themes from GitHub. And you can do that by clicking this gear icon, themes, color theme, and choose the theme of your choice. I really like this one, so I'm going to keep it. In fact, I like Jellyfish theme as well, but a lot of people tend to not like it, so I'm going to keep this simple theme so that everybody like the theme that I'm using throughout this course. Let's close this now and let's get back to this Explorer tab. I really like this tab open so that I can see all the files I'm working with. You can create more files here. You can also create a folder here. So let us say I want to create a folder called folder 1. I can do that by clicking here. And if you again open this folder, you are going to see the folder here. So any files and folders you create from here will be visible here and vice versa. This is the refresh button so that you can refresh the files which have been created here. Sometimes if you have a lot of files, all the files are not visible and you need to click this refresh icon. But for now, as a beginner, you don't have to worry much about that. Now let's write our first Python program. And it is going to be a very simple line of code. I'm going to say print and I'm going to open a bracket and I'm going to say hello world. And yes, that's our first Python code. Make sure that you press Ctrl S to save so that you no longer see the dot which was visible here, and click here and you are going to see hello world printed on the terminal. Congratulations, you have written your first Python program. I'm really very happy and proud of you. We are going to write a lot of complex programs, but this is the starting point. This is that mark of your journey as a successful Python developer. So enjoy the moment, pat yourself in the back and fasten your seatbelt because we are going to write a lot of code in this course. Now you can even further customize VS Code by going to settings. If you click on settings, you will see this tab, and this tab has a lot of options through which you can customize VS Code. For now, if you are an absolute beginner, don't care much about it and focus on writing code. But if you are an intermediate or advanced developer, you can always play around with these settings. I really like one setting where you can use your control and mouse scroll to change the font size. So if I type mouse, there is a setting called zoom the font of the editor when using mouse wheel and holding control. And if I check this box, I can come back here and I can hold control on my keyboard. And if I zoom in, I can always zoom in and zoom out through the wheel. There is another setting that I like. If you right click and go to command palette, you will see a lot of commands which you can use. Now again, don't dig much into these commands, but I really like the screencast mode. If you type screencast mode, there is an option called screencast mode. And this is mostly used by educators like me. Anything I type on the keyboard is going to be visible here. So if I press backspace, you are going to see that I pressed backspace. You can always change where the font appears by going to the screencast mode settings. I'll change the vertical offset to 0 so that it appears at the very bottom. I really like it to be here. Now last setting before we move on to next topic is autosave. This is an incredible feature in VS Code. Now whenever you type something in your code editor, it is not saved automatically, which means that you need to manually press Ctrl S to save a file. If you don't want to save your file again and again, you can always go to File and click this option called Auto Save. This is going to automatically save the file whenever you type. So if I type something, file is automatically saved. Now if you have a lot of files in your Visual Studio Code editor, you can always search for those files by typing the name of the file here and pressing Enter key. Now there are a lot of settings in Visual Studio Code and I don't want to comprehensively cover all those settings, but these were the settings that you are going to need the most throughout this course and throughout your career as a developer. Now while this was a really basic Python program, let's move on to our next video and understand how the syntax of a Python program works. See you in the next video.